Good evening. I'm gonna start. I usually wait for two people to get into my live so I can start my live. Um, I have been doing, let me put my timer on. I'm just gonna start either way. I have been going live recently. I guess I want to say, how long has it been now? Last 2-3 weeks. Constantly. Please forgive my hair, guys. This is, if anybody's ever come to the store, this is how I usually wear my hair. Anyway, I've been going live for the last 2 to 3 weeks, just kind of, well, using it for all kinds of things, really. I would say just expressing myself, things that I've gone through. I think I've been very quiet in the last year. People haven't heard from me personally. A lot has been going on. But I really have felt a push to finally start speaking up about what I've gone through. I've started a YouTube to which I've been kind of uploading, all kinds of videos, just kind of like a rundown of everything. And I would want to call it, hold on, give me a second. I would want to call it from like streams of consciousness, where I just kind of talk about what it is that I've gone through, how I'm coping with it, where I am right now, all the way up to just pretty much giving out messages to people that I know that are listening, because I've been very quiet. And I wanted to make a couple things very clear. So I kind of normally have these layered messages that I feel like I want to talk about. Because I was gang stalked, it's something that's so near and dear to me that I want to continue putting information out there. And I think that my take and my voice on it is very different than all the stuff that I see. I don't come from a space of victimhood, and I do not come from a space of feeling defeated. So I very much want to give that take, because, as I had a comment on one of my other YouTube videos that basically said, somebody was looking for a take of someone who had just gone through the whole thing and came out the other side. And that it was done. They were no longer being followed. They were no longer being harassed. Like, there was bits of it here and there, but it wasn't, as intense, I guess I should say, as it once was. And for me, that's the space that I'm in. Like, I see nonsense here and there, but it's very obviously like over. It's not a situation that can continue, that has legs, and it is what it is. And that's from every aspect. All doors have been shut. And so, I move around in the world freely. I know how to move around. There's times that I take extra steps to be left alone, and there's other times like I really could care less, what's happening. Because I'm just living my life, right? And so if a problem shows up, it is what it is. But what I wanted to record this video tonight about is my tip of the day, which is that life goes on. And I think this is a really important message. And I think so because, hold on, my music has Audacity. Sometimes it just goes down. So we got to put it back up to where it should be. Anyway, my tip of the day is life does go on. Now, this is how I look at it, having come full circle. It took me, obviously with any new thing, it's going to take a while for you to figure out where you're going with things, how you're going to resolve things. Even with me right now, I am still, I would say, in a stage of kind of just healing myself and like calming down and like closing loose ends or whatever. See, I can never tell who's in this live. I don't even see when people join the live and then it says like, it's so weird. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm feel like I'm in a stage of kind of healing and closing off loose ends and just like, you know, calming down from the chaos. And plus it's the holiday season, so it's a time for me to like just to spend time with family and just preparing for the holidays and taking a couple days off, which I absolutely am going to do because way too I've been focused externally for so long, and just to take some time to myself before I really get up and like rev up again. So I'm so happy to do that and just like get back to myself and spend some time indoors without having like a schedule for a couple days and whatnot. So super excited about that. So I don't think I might come live. I don't know. I'll see. For the next couple of days, I'll see how that goes again. But I really wanted to talk about just why I say life goes on. First of all, if you're in this situation, whether you are actively being gang stalked by anything or you are in a difficult situation that you know you have to get out of, whichever scenario you're in, you kind of have to step outside of the situation. And even if you're just embarking on this very difficult journey of just like standing in yourself and saying like you're not putting up with a certain lifestyle anymore, or doesn't matter what you had agreed to before, like you're getting out of this, whatever the case is, right? Regardless, you have to kind of look at the situation as this is just a fraction of your life, a very small time period. And I know when you go through very intense things, it feels like it's going to be forever. It really does. It really feels like when is this going to end? Because there are people specifically making your life unbearable. You really have to look at it like it's just one point in your life. My situation lasted a year. And as it circled around to the more or less about a year part, the cycle was just obviously closed. Now, I would say that was about July, August of this year. It was like, this is obviously not working very well. The people who are gang stalking me do not have enough money to be spending useless money in my store. Nor do people really want to do it. Like, that was when I started seeing people were like, not really. Well, I kind of saw there were people all throughout the whole year that just didn't want to be involved. But towards the summer was really when I was feeling like people blatantly, like, they would come, they would kind of, shoot the crap in the store, walk around, and then just leave. Like, they wouldn't say anything irritating. They wouldn't, like, people were just tired of the whole thing. Everybody was tired of it. It was just dragging on too long. And I also feel like people were talking about it enough that other people kind of knew as well, that this was a waste of time. So it's just kept on dragging on from the summer in ways that have been like ineffective and useless. So if one random person does show up and they barely want to be there, because they've heard rumors about me that I'm this and I'm that, then it's like, there's no point to be doing it, but it's just happening to happen. Like, it's not having an effect. They're not making eye contact. Like, they just don't want to be there. Intuitively, I sense that, what this is supposed to be, it's supposed to be some sort of scare tactic, but realistically it's like it's ineffective. So it really just is somebody who doesn't want to let go of something and just dragging it on. And it's like everything says the same things. Like, I now am reading tarot cards and getting into it and absolutely loving it. But even the cards say the same thing. It's like everything is pointing to the same direction. Like, this is a waste of time. It's not going anywhere. And it's not going to have the result that anybody wants it to have. I am never going to step on a plane and do anything illegal for anyone. It's just not going to happen. And they don't have the means to enforce it to happen, no matter what, like, people they send my way and what they, like, it's just dragging things out, right? But that was a year. That was a year that I had to fight for my life for a year. That taught me a lot of lessons learned, that I basically came out of the year being an evolved version of myself, a smarter, sharper, wiser version of myself, but it didn't go anywhere. Nothing came out of it. So, to anybody that is going through anything difficult, and not just gang stalking is one thing. I feel like gang stalking is extreme, but to anybody going through anything in general, whether it's just just issues, if it's family, like from what I'm seeing, everybody has some sort of issue that they're contending with right now. I don't know what it is about, since COVID started happening, everybody just started going through something. Everything got crazy. And it was different. Like, I know people in my life where it was health issues that they started having in 2020. And then I knew, and it was like severe health issues where they were like worried about if they would make it through. And then, everybody suffered financially. All kinds of businesses. It's just been the economy. It's just been what's been going on. So it's like these multiple things have been happening, and it's such a struggle. And it feels like it's dragging on forever because you literally have no idea when it's going to completely be done. But I feel like my message is just like, listen, life is going to go on. If I feel like things are only going to continue to drag on, things are going to take the time that they're going to take to resolve, to be honest. But honestly, it's worth it to fight 1 year of your life to live the rest of your life free, rather than deciding because you're being harassed or because things are challenging to make decisions that make the situation drag on. I'm going to give one quick example. It's 12 minutes in. I don't know if I'm definitely not going to spend an hour tonight, but there was a guy from the Mercedes dealership that I came in one time. Obviously, people know who I am. I don't know who all the people involved in this situation are, but people know who I am. So in the course of whatever was happening, he comes to me and he was asking for advice. And he was just alluding to the fact, he's like, listen, I know I've done things in the past and there's a lot of karma that I'm facing. Things are hard, and I've kind of spoken to my wife and we're thinking that we want to get out of this. Like, this is just, things are bad. But he's kind of telling me things, but he's not going into specifics. So he's kind of going into the fact that it's just something he knows is going to be extremely difficult to get out of. But he knows he's facing karma for sure. But money is an issue, and they need money, and they want to have one more kid. And because of her age, they don't want to let it go too long and all this. I totally get it. And so I sat there with this guy and I literally was like, I broke it down and I explained to him from a spiritual standpoint why this is very important for him to listen to his inner guidance and follow it. And I'm very upfront, and maybe, I don't know if that's good or bad, because I said up front, I was like, listen, this is going to be one of the hardest things that you're ever going to do, but it's going to be one of the most worth things that you're going to do. It's going to be very worth it. So if you're in some sort of secret society, if you're in some sort of cult, if you're in some sort of criminal organization, the way it's set up, it's not set up for you to be in and out, because you've seen too much. You know too much. You've participated in things. It is what it is. It's not going to be easy for you to get out, and you're going to have to be very careful, and it's a very scary road. And whether or not people will pull the trigger, if somebody's waving a gun, it might not even have bullets in it, but they're going to scare you with it. Regardless, you're going to be afraid. So you just really have to have the mindset that you're going to walk through fire. And it is what it is. And you're going to, and when you're walking through fire, being in the middle of the fire is not where you stop. You don't stop while you're in the middle of a difficult situation. You got to keep going. You have to keep walking. You know, once you make that decision to cross that boundary, you have to go. And it gets worse in the middle. You will walk through and the middle will be the worst. And then when at its most unbearable, you're thinking like, when is it going to be done? It tapers off. Remember, you're in the middle, so you have the same distance left to complete before you start feeling any sort of relief. And you truly have to walk through fire to get out of a situation that doesn't serve you. Now, in this particular situation, with my particular situation, people that came up against me, I know inside of that situation is fire. I know it is. So if people continue to want to stay, if people continue to want to be in there because they're told to be in there, they will perish in there. They will lose everything they have. Because that's just what was supposed to happen. It is the time for it to be destroyed. That's not up to me. That's up to God. It is the time for it to be destroyed. And if people really look at what's going on, the timing of everything, the way it's playing out, the fact that it's been destructive from day one, it's been chaos from day one. It's not going to get better in 2024 because the natural world outside is already in chaos. You go out to buy food. This Christmas, look at it. You go out to any shopping center, there's no big rush. There's not people fighting to buy things. There's not people, people want a deal. Everything has to be on sale. This is not how Christmas used to be. Christmas was not a time when things were going on sale. Christmas was a time where everything was always expensive and you got the sales after Christmas was done. So for the fact that we're living in this way right now is already telling you naturally what is going on in the natural world. The whole year of 2024 is going to be very difficult. It doesn't matter if you've done good things or bad things. It will be very slow for everybody. But if you've already done bad things on top of it, begin today to right your wrongs. Begin today. I spoke to 2 people that I could think of in the top of my head. Three that I could think of in the top of my head that wanted to get out of this situation. 3. One came and asked for advice because it was on their head. They were thinking about it. Another one, things were just very hard, but she couldn't tell why. She couldn't understand why things were so hard. She was losing so much money. She was losing property. It was unbearable. It was just too much. And then the third person was fresh to the group and they kind of knew like they didn't want to be there, but it was heavy bullying. And I know what they're going through because no matter what people want to say, people going through this situation are facing something exceptional. It's something more than just people are following me everywhere. I'm losing money, or if I leave, these people are going to chase me. These people are going to destroy me, or I'm scared for my kids. I don't want to be hurt. It's more than that. There is a spiritual aspect to what's going on. It's like God is talking to people and you would be stupid not to listen. It's what happened with me. When I went through this situation, God was talking to me throughout the entire situation and I had to listen. I had to pay attention. I had no choice. And I have a relationship with God, so I know when God talks and you don't listen, God starts to make you listen. And I feel like a lot of people in this situation, God is making them listen. When you have work to do and money to make, you can't listen. So God must take the money. God must take the work. What else is it that you love? That you're serving that makes you not listen? Well, God will take that too. And God will continue to take until you listen. God has forever. You cannot deal with the pressure. But if it takes however long it takes, one by one, things are going to be taken until you're on your knees. The message will be heard. Now, for me, because I know how God is, I don't play those games. I don't play games with myself. Nobody's too big to take down. No scam, no crime is so invincible that you cannot be taken down. I watched this documentary with Bernie Madoff. How much billions did he have? 400 billion with a B. Billion, not million. Billion. Or 200 million, billion, or 100. I can't remember, but it was a lot of billions. Not 1 billion, a lot of billions. And they took that man down. With that much money, with that much connections, he could buy the whole police station. He could come in the whole police station, buy everybody in there. Give everybody in there 100,000 to shut up for things to go his way. When it's your time, it's your time. This is not your world. This is God's world. That's why I call my YouTube God's Way. No matter who you are, and no matter what you think you have, no matter how much money you think you have, how many connections, people will stop picking up the phone. People will stop helping. And everything will continue to crash down until the message is heard. So it's extremely important. And I know, and I don't need to see, I'm one person, when I pray, I don't need to see results. I don't need to go around the house and say, is that person okay? I know what's going on. Because I've been praying way too long. Way too long. God has never failed me. Not even one time. Never. So I will say this, the words that I will leave with, because I want to leave it under 30 minutes. Number one, if you are involved in anything that is on the wrong side of what God cares about, of what your spirit is telling you is right from wrong, because you're an adult, get out of that immediately. Do not let 2024 start with you on the wrong side of God. Because if you start 2024 not listen, 2023 was the warning. If you start 2024 not listening, you will pay, and it will be crushing. It will be difficult. And people always take everything for a joke. That's why God starts with your money, then your health, then your family starts getting it, then you start losing. People don't want to listen to anything. And I think it's scary. And I know God, and I'm a child of God. I'm very close to God. And I'm telling you, when I myself don't listen, I have to apologize. Sometimes I'm praying for days, asking God for forgiveness because I should have known better, because I was shown right from wrong. I was shown the way, and I still chose to make another decision. I haven't done that for years. I haven't done that for years because I'm not that brave. And I'll tell you this much. Anything you lose in the course of changing your life, you're supposed to lose it. You lose it so God can build you up higher and give you better. Because if God had left it up to you only, you would stay there forever because you're comfortable. Anything you lose, you're supposed to lose. Hopefully for better. Anything you stole off of the backs of people, you're also supposed to lose. So you're going to lose it regardless. There is no point to think that you can steal from people. Especially with gang stalking, they always target good people. Good people are usually closer to God in some way, or more God's favorite people. God's favorite people because there aren't many people like them. There's so few of them. God gives them extra light and extra peace and extra happiness. And these are the people that they choose to abuse because of their light, because the spirits that people are carrying on them do not like good people and are envious of people that God favors. So they don't know why they're behaving that way. Why can I not stand this person who's so nice? Why cannot I not stand this person who's so giving and who's so pure? Why does this person irritate me so much? Because you're carrying spirits on you and you don't even know. You're doing things that the people around you might be making you think is okay. But if we shine a light on it in the public outside, then you would see how disgusting it is, the things that you're doing. Anybody a part of this organization needs to be honest, we have a couple more days, 7 more days until 2024. Get out now. You have 7 days. I'm telling you, it's like if the environment outside is already unsafe, there's an apocalypse. Society has fallen. There's no more law. There's no more police. It's all chaos and there's zombies. And you're outside. This is not the time you want people to be hunting you down. Now you have 2 enemies. You have God and you have that economy out there. That's not fair. It's too much pressure for one person. This is the message. If you're in it, you gotta make the decision to get out and life will go on after. It may take you some time to get the strength. It may be very difficult for you to survive it. But you got to disassociate yourself from anything where there are stray bullets flying all over the place. The last thing I'm going to say, I have 2 minutes left. Today is today, December 23rd, today is the anniversary, my anniversary of the first time that I felt heavy energy thrown my way. Now, the whole time I was going through this, people were sending energy my way. It is what it is. But Christmas time was the first time that I felt like it was like the first death spell that they sent my way. And I knew that it was sent. And it's weird because when you feel this energy, you just know something is off. So I had gone Christmas shopping. It's funny, I go the 23rd and the malls are a mess and whatever. It was the only time that I had time. Anyway, I went all the way to I just knew something was off. So I went to the mall, I went to Vaughan Mills, and I was over there. I did some shopping. I did some shopping for a neighbor, and I remember going to her house, and from the time I approached her house, that's when I felt it. That's when I felt that energy. And the energy was and things happened that I'm not going to go into that just confirmed it all for me. But I remember I got hurt. And in the way that I was hurt, it didn't heal for a long time. And usually I'm not joking with you. If I get cut in the morning at 9 o'clock, by like 4 p.m., the cut is healed. Like things heal with me very, very, very quickly. And anyway, I went home and I literally sat down and I thought to myself, my goodness, these people are serious. Like, prior to that, it's like They're throwing energy, I'm throwing words back, I'm protecting myself, I'm cleaning myself and all of that, and healing myself and trying to stay rested and grounded and focused on my money and all of this stuff. And the main person that's trying to come at me, things didn't go right. He was supposed to have had a fake relationship with me and get me to do what he wants and take control of my mind and on, and none of that never happened. None of it never happened. I ghosted him within like 2 weeks or so. Like, this did not, I don't even know how long. It was not long. It was not long at all. So I got rid of him, so he didn't have the time to do the things that he was supposed to, and he couldn't influence me with anything. Nobody can. Nobody can. If there are things that I feel God is telling me, but it doesn't sit right with my spirit, it's going to take us a long time for me and God to go back and forth to figure out if this is the actual message, if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. No one can influence me. And that's something that I've just always been that way. So when I went home and I sat down and I thought about it, and I was like, these people are really trying to kill me. Oh my God. Why? I realized how serious that they are. I realized that they're very serious. And because I realized that, I started approaching the situation very differently. And let me tell you something, for anybody watching this, because I'm going to be posting this to YouTube as well. In the spirit world, when you make a petition, what people call casting spells and all of that, it is a petition. People are under the impression that 100% every wish is granted just because every wish used to be granted the whole time. Not true. Lies the devil tells. Everything you do, every prayer that you send out, there needs to be agreement to grant it. Even if you make a sacrifice, even if you are the sacrifice yourself, which is the highest sacrifice you can give any being, is to give them your vessel, whether that be Father God or whoever else. It's the highest sacrifice is yourself. Not every sacrifice is accepted, and not every sacrifice is enough. The better of a person you are is the more valuable you are in the spirit world. The more evil and malicious you are is the less value you have to anyone. It's the less value you have, the less divinity you have in your body. So these petitions against me are not being answered. We're not being answered. We're never being answered. None of them. Not one. Lose money? No. Be sick? No. Lose my life? Refused. Lose my business before it's time? No. Nothing will be accepted. Nothing will be accepted before God's time. And that's the bottom line. And if God does not accept it, if the spirit world does not accept it, no matter who you pray to, it's not going to be accepted. Now, what happens when the prayers are not accepted? What happens if the prayers do come, the energy comes, but the person can clean it away so it doesn't touch them? What happens if they have heavy protection of ancestors, of angels, even of their own demons? Their own protection will block it. What happens to the energy? The energy must go back. This is a rule. I didn't make it up. This is how it works. So when people come after people spiritually with no research, and it would be quick to ask God, ask the spirit, who is this person? So when you know after one whole year that petitions are not being answered and prayers are not being answered, In the course of a year, you made 10,000 evil prayers and not one was answered. Where did the prayers go? 10,000 prayers with death spell and poverty. Because what was God doing? Waiting for enough prayers to hit every single person can get enough prayers back. There's so many that every single person that it is intended for, there's enough prayers for all of them. That's what happened. There's enough prayers for the whole gang. Everybody in the coven, every business, every adult, every child, there's enough prayers to go back so everybody gets an equal portion. Why else would God let you make? And God wanted everybody. God waited. God waited to deliver me from this situation. God waited to every big practitioner or big witch doctor that they wanted to get out of here. They waited for that person to send their heavy stuff so that it could be sent back. They involved everybody that they could, the whole network. We have this person we go see, and that person we go see, and that person we go see, and that person we go see. And everybody went to see everybody so that there would be enough for everybody when it all comes crashing down. And this is why I said, how comes people didn't see that this was a setup from day one? How comes? Because the management is not okay. That is why. And when people are money hungry and they're greedy, they will put you in messed up situations with them. They are not going to tell you that if you approach me and you come around me, that you're going to get bad luck that's so bad that your life is going to feel like it's falling apart. They're not going to tell you that because they want people to go out and continue doing this type of stuff. And they don't get, who's going to give you the full story? Nobody's going to give you the full story. They're going to say just enough. Just go over there and go do this. Just go do this and go do that. And they trick you. And you go do these things and now you're stuck. Last year, you were making $300,000 for the year. And this year you made zero. Does that sound natural? That's not natural. These things are not natural. We're having supernatural things are happening. You got to stop agreeing to work with people who are doing things that they're not telling you about. And they're always going to tell you that the good person is the bad person. The good person is the dangerous person. I come here and I tell the truth. I absolutely asked God to run through that army and tear it apart. I did, but I could tell you that. Why? Because I was being persecuted. And why? Because they persecute others. I can say that. I don't have to hide that. But don't let people think that one innocent person came after a whole group. One person who just wants to run their business and run their life comes after a whole group. It doesn't make sense. You got to use your common sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So this is what I will say. December 23rd, 2023 is a special day to me because it's the anniversary of the first death spell. So this year it was my turn. Next year it is your turn. It is their turn. It's a whole year. It's going to be a whole year of nightmares that are going to be experienced with your eyes open. This 2024 coming. I know, man, I feel it every day. We're all feeling it on some degree, but I'm telling you, I feel it. I feel it every day. Every day. I'm feeling it. And my mind keeps saying shelter in place, shelter in place. Do you know that term shelter in place, where that comes from? That comes from like when there's a storm, a hurricane, an earthquake, something that's going to rip the city apart. They say shelter in place. And that's all my mind says. Shelter in place. Get shelter. So it is what it is. I'm going to repeat the tip of the day is life goes on. Make the right decisions. London Bridge is falling down and it's coming down crashing in a way that it cannot be rebuilt again. So it's up to everybody. It's easy to think to just look at one person, think they're the problem without looking at yourself. What you've done, what you've participated in, and your investments are now paying off. And it's terrifying. It's very scary. But this is my message. I'm going to put it on YouTube because I haven't posted in a while. Thank you for the one person that did sit through my live. I'm going to post it on YouTube. I'm going to put a link in my stories. The content for clothing is going to be a little bit slow for the next couple of days because I want to enjoy Christmas this year. I don't let anything make me not enjoy Christmas any year. Last year, I enjoyed it regardless, even though it was a difficult year. And that's what you have to do. You have to enjoy yourself through the fire because it's going to be fire. If you're having anything in your heart that is telling you, maybe, you see when your intuition is not on, the voice is very low. I'm begging people, if you have anything in your heart that is telling you, maybe, I don't know what these people are talking about. Maybe I should just pull myself away. Do it and do it quick. Before 2024, get out of there. Make preparations, start preparing. Maybe everything cannot be closed off in 7 days, and of course not, but start now to show God that you're serious, because I tell you, I see what's going on with other people. I see what's going on with their businesses, their families, their homes, and everything. It's not a pretty picture. And I was there last year dealing with that struggle. Financial struggle is very difficult to deal with. So that is my message for the night. I'm not going to go on too long. My YouTube is called God's Way 1019. So God's Gods space way 1019. God's Way 1019. I have more videos on there. If you want to hear about my story, what's happened to me, or if you just want advice. I give constant advice on like how to deal with stress, how to manage things, and I'm going to give more tips on, man, it took me a long time to learn some of these things so that I could walk around free. If I knew these things from the beginning, oh my God, I would not have suffered so much. Oh my God. But anyways, I'm going to give you guys the tips for free, because I believe everybody deserves to walk around freely. And no matter what you've done before, you're going to face karma one way or the other, and that's fine. But people, if there's a way for you to find a way for you to walk away without being punished too hard for making that decision, then it's something that you should do. So that's why I share my tips and tricks, and they absolutely are effective. I walk around free. I went from a drug recruitment to people trying to destroy my life to walking around free as a bird, light as a feather, with my life back. So I will be sharing more. Have a good night, and thanks for listening to my life.